but not a part that could contribute culturally, religiously, to the building of the Sudan. So Dr. John was saying that all Sudan is built on deception, not on realities. So he came up with a new idea called New Sudan Ideologies. That Sudan has to be built on equality, regardless of religion, regardless of race, because in Sudan you find Arab, you find African. Sudan should be built on those. It doesn't matter whether you are a Christian or whether you are a Muslim, you are a Sudanese. Even the Sudanese African, like Southern Sudanese identify themselves with African. Okay. Southern Sudan now is independent. But if Southern Sudan cannot develop itself, Africa will never help Southern Sudan. So they have to accept themselves as Southern Sudanese and do what is needed in Southern Sudan to develop themselves. The same thing with Sudan. Sudan identified themselves with Arab. Yes, you could be Arab, but if Sudan can't do what it wants within its own country, I don't think Arab countries will never help them. That's why 2.5 million Southern Sudanese died, because the Sudanese rulers failed to understand the diversity of Sudan. So I hear my brothers who are saying that Sudan needs democracy. Sudan needs to realize and include other people that it rejects. After Southern Sudan left Sudan, why can't the rest of Sudan learn? They have to learn that there is something wrong with the Sudan that allows Southern Sudan to go, that made Darfur to be fighting, that is making Nuba Mountain to be fighting, that is making Angasan and Baluna to be fighting. There is something wrong, and these are the things that should be addressed. Our brother Khalid was asking whether the new Sudan ideology could still be valid after Southern Sudan left. It is a hard question. But also, New Sudan ideology can still work. It can still work. Even Southern Sudan left. Southern Sudan shares the long boundaries from Raja to Red with the Sudan. Southern Sudan share culture, they share language with the Sudan. Southern Sudan, we eat the same food that other Africans don't eat. That even Egyptians don't eat Sudanese food, but it is Sudan and Southern Sudanese that share the same food. Southern Sudan and Sudan have intermarriages. We are the same people. So, if there is a democracy, if our various government allow the movement of people, the people of Sudan, to move freely, if there is a free economic communication between the North and the South, unity of Sudan can still be in diversity. It is a fact that nobody will ever deny that. It is unfortunate that the architect of New Sudan vision, Dr. John, died 2 weeks before he took oath of office. It was even hard for Dr. John to convince Southern Sudanese to tap into unity of Sudan. He struggled with them for almost 22 years, telling them that fighting for Southern Sudan will not solve the issue. Because even up to today, we still have dispute with Sudan along the boundaries. But the problem is, Northern Sudanese didn't have to join to embrace the new Sudan ideology. So when Dr. John died, Southern Sudanese couldn't look anywhere because they know that without Dr. John and knowing the ruling within the Sudan, and the Northern Sudanese don't see them as part of Sudan. That's why they opted for separation. Because they feel that they are still rejected by the Sudanese system. Dr. John used to say that you have to make, he was appealing to the NCP, saying that you have to make the unity of Sudan attractive to its own citizens. Make Southern Sudanese feel that they are in Sudan, they are Sudanese. I can say today, the same government in Khartoum could learn from the reason why Southern Sudan left, to make the unity of Sudan attractive to the rest of the region of Sudan, like Nuba Mountain, telling them that, so that you could feel this is your own country, you see? So, you feel that this is your own country, you are identified with it, you can identify with the country, you are wanted, your ideas are wanted. And this is what Ustaz Mahmoud was talking about. There are laws that are made to humiliate citizens, to exclude citizens, to insult them, to insult their own intelligence. Such countries cannot stand. Today, Southern Sudan is fighting because our government inherited some of the, of the old Sudan, whereby you can only concentrate, ruling the country with clique, a group of people coming up with the idea and try to own the country. That's what happened in Sudan. So I will stop from here, but I believe Sudanese in general can have a dialogue where they can accept that all the Sudanese have right to contribute to how the Sudan should be governed, regardless of religion, regardless of race, as one people to identify themselves with Sudan. Then I believe Sudan could, Sudan is a good country, Sudan could stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Maurice. Well said. Natalia, if you want to add some few words, you are more than welcome.
Actually, Maurice has summarized everything and given the most vital point that I was going to talk about, so I don't see the point of repeating. But the question of political failure is the major one. The political failure is the major one, whether in South Sudan right now or in our former master Sudan. So there should be a different separation of state and religion. Secularism is the key here. And as I was watching the video of Mahmoud by then, when he died, when he was killed, we were very young, I couldn't understand much, but his death dominated the media. And in Kenya, I was lucky to meet the daughter who used to come. Is Fatma the daughter or the wife? Asma. Yeah, we attended many conferences together, and that's where I saw the spirit. Really, when I saw what the dad was advocating, I did see that legacy in the daughter. And today, ladies and gentlemen, the ball is rolling in our court. We, as people of South Sudan and the people of the former, our master Sudan, we have to really come into dialogue and look into what would be the solution to our perpetual problems. because it seemed that nobody's going to recover from it. We thought that when we were separated from the North, we had learned what war means, what it caused to the nation and to the people. People of South Sudan, many generations during the war went without education. And we are in between now. We don't know English or Arabic. Most of our people, some of us are very fortunate to have chance of learning. But today, as you can hear, currently that South Sudan has been in war for the last 4 weeks. And that 4 weeks, it feels like it's the last 22 years because the death toll is extreme. Therefore, we have to debate and dialogue and talk. And forum like this forum of Muhammad Taha, thank you, Khalid, for inviting us to have a voice and to look around and see what we can do different. Because by communicating and talking, it doesn't matter whether you are from North or from the South. Solution to humanity is something that we have to think about and think how to solve it. Like Morris mentioned that Sudan was kind of hanging. We didn't know, like the other time I asked one of the professors at U of C, my question was that because in that class he was talking of, and this is what is known worldwide, that Ghana was the first African country that got her independence from the British. Sudan, in fact, I asked the question, this thing has been widely documented that Ghana is the first African country. It should be Sudan, because Sudan got her independence in January 1956, and Ghana got her independence in October 1957. In fact, 1 year and 6 months, that's 18 months after our independence. But the claim is that our independence was low profile. I don't think so. It is how we have handled our independence. We didn't value it and put much effort into our independence and improve our resources. We are rich in resources. And because of this political failure, the marginalization of the South has led to this suppression. And if we are not careful in the future, I believe the so-called Sudan in general will be fragmented even to two towns, and two towns will be called a country if we are not careful. Because what I am saying now, if we could call Bor and Malakal a state, and call Juba and Torit a state, and call Wau and Rumbek a state, so we'll be fragmented into nothing, and finally we'll be useless. So it will be like South Sudan, or the entire Sudan will look like Democratic Republic of Congo, because resource-wise, South Sudan, as in general, is naturally endowed. We have a lot of natural resources, same as Saudi Arabia. Saudi Indo petrol, because siyasa habu قوي. هم هسه من أغنى الناس في العالم. وشوف Republic of Congo يعني حكومته فاشل، عشان كده ما قدروا يمشوا محل. تشوفوا من 1960, that was around June 1960 is the time. By then it was called Zaire. It got her independent. But if you look at it, South Sudan that just got independent 2 months ago, 2 years ago, is much better. So please, ladies and gentlemen, South Sudanese and North Sudanese, we have to come and think, and this is a good forum to come, and hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the mic مع دكتور جمال، ونسمع كفر بعده ونختم بإرنست.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شكر لتلاميذ الأستاذ محمود محمد لدعوتهم لنا لحضور احتفال رحيله